like that.
All right, Tallahassee, Big Bend area high school football fans. Let's go into another edition of this week's Extra Point. I think we were supposed to have an intro video that plays, so that totally threw me off. But here we are, we're live right now. So let's go ahead and jump into it. It's been a really eventful week of football. We saw a bunch of district championships claimed. We saw a couple of undefeated heavyweights go at it. We've seen quite a bit of football around the area, but man, when you take a look at the landscape right now, it's really heating up because we got rankings that are determining a lot. It's just been a great time to actually watch a lot of teams, especially dominant teams, emerge. Um, Man, I just want to be able to say that having this week off from college football was actually kind of a good thing. No Florida State football, no FAMU football this past week. Felt pretty good to be just out of the drama for a little bit, just kind of sit back and watch everybody else play. With FAM, it was just kind of interesting because this sets up the Jackson State game, and then Florida State takes on Duke, and man, they got a winning streak for the past like 20 since they've been in the ACC, never lost to Duke.
Yep. It should be interesting. They're licking their chops up there.
We'll see what Coach Simmons can get going up against the Knowles there.
Man, if when you lose, nobody feels sorry for FSU. If you got a chance to beat them down, beat them because you know they're coming back. So take your shots now
Yep.
because you
It's like a
can't.
dog pile.
Yeah,
Everybody's jumping on, Coach. Everybody's jumping on. Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. I don't know the way this team is played. It's just so uninspired right now. It's just hard to watch.
I picked them in my pool, so FSU. I mean, if you just pick them, they're gonna win one.
There you
So
go.
I'm gonna make sure.
There you go.
I just can't believe that they go to Durham to play Duke, and I think that they had a week off. No telling what gonna happen. I'm sure the coach made some changes. I mean, I put all the rookies in if it was me. You can't go wrong. You can't. It won't hurt you.
Brock's starting, so
I,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking, but coach, coach is trying to find a way. He's just looking for wins. And can you imagine the scary thought is Florida State not making a bowl game? That man, that's a given when the season starts. I mean, they not making a bowl.
The talent level was really surprising, just given the way they played. If you'd have told me, I'd have been.
They got talent. It's not. They got talent.
Yeah.
They got
That's
talent.
what I'm saying. It's the way that they played. I would have never guessed with that level of talent.
Uninspired.
93 at worst.
Man, losing becomes contagious.
Yeah, it does.
If you start losing, you start looking for ways. You say, dang. As soon as something bad happens, your head go down, and it's up to the head coach and this coaching staff to get the kids ready to play. I tell you what, I hate to be trying to coach a team because nobody feels sorry for them.
Nope.
You went undefeated, and now you can't buy a game. God.
Fam, you taking on Jackson State? That's gonna be a good one.
Man, fam, you gonna win. What's the problem? It ain't no problem. Fam, you gonna win. I mean,
this game's gonna be the one. I really feel like if FAMU, if they can, especially if that defensive front, which has gotten better, can play up to the level that they're supposed to play, I can see FAMU making a run back to Celebration Bowl.
Man, think about this: Alabama State was undefeated in the conference.
Yep.
They got knocked off. We don't care. The big dogs are the Rattlers, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna go to Jackson. I hope they're looking. We're gonna beat they behind this Saturday, so I'm not
What
worried
what
about it.
message board are you on?
Huh?
I know you're on somebody message board.
Uh, I don't care. Dion gone, so they and and Shador gone. They can't be fair. We the champs of the swag.
I'm definitely rocking with FAMU on this one.
I know
I
you
feel
are.
like
I
I,
figured you
I
would
just
be.
I would like to say the same thing for Florida State. I'm hopeful. I'm
I'm
hopeful.
hoping too.
Right.
I hope they win. I really do.
Save your money, Mark.
It's too
Save your
late.
money.
It's too late. It's too late for me. I
No.
got, I'm all I'm all in. I'm like I can't go against them. I can't.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into some high school football. Number week number 8 is already in the books,
Woo.
and man, this was the one where I was like, we really saw, in my opinion, I think we saw a couple of Final Four teams, start to emerge. It was really impressive, dominant wins. There's a lot of sleeper teams that we felt like, were kind of on the fence that got some big wins too. Holmes County is one of them. Picked up a big win, keep themselves in basically with everything in front of them. The shocker was probably the St. John Paul and Maclay game for me. I did not see that one coming. And I know, Coach Akoff and Coach Hughes are very excited to get that win, but just kind of felt like that one just kind of stuck out to me. But let's go ahead and run it down. We were starting out at Florida High hosting Gadsden County, and this one was a lot closer for a brief, like 8 minutes than it appeared to be. Florida High was within a score, and then Gadsden County just opened it up with, like, I think 28 unanswered. So to close out the game, and man, it was a dominant. That Gadsden County showed why they're one of the dominant teams in the state right now. With the way that they were able to handle Florida High. And it was definitely one of those where I think Florida High just struggled on offense. Defense played, I felt like an exceptional game through 3 quarters, but they just weren't able to. They were on the field for, I think, at one point 9 minutes straight. So in the second half.
Man, you guys did a great job. You covered the game. I watched it. Well, I watched 6 other games at the same time, and it was a close game. I was impressed with Florida. I was 7-3 for a minute, and then all of a sudden, they made a score, and looked like when they got close, Gaston County kind of pulled away. So uh, my hats off to Gaston County. Surprise win. Not a surprise, but I guess the score was a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. It felt like the first 2 or 3 drives, they had some momentum going, but then credit to that Gadsden defense. I feel like they made a couple of adjustments, locked it down, excuse me. And to Mark's point, it was just the defense just couldn't get off the field. They were on there for so long. And then that's what the Gadsden run game does. They'll wear you down on the line. And then Doherty, I was very impressed with. First time I've seen him in person. He was slinging it. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns. They suck you in with a run game, and then they'll just burn you over the top. I think they had a really kind of 2 or 3 really, really strong phases, and you see why, fast forwarding, they're probably the favorite here for the district and beyond that for some big-time stuff. But they're the real deal. I'd seen them on film, but first time in person, and it's jarring seeing them for a full 48 and kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things was that, just the way that they were able to kind of keep Florida High's offense off the field. That was actually very impressive. Anytime you can keep a defense on the field for almost 8 or 9, it was almost 8 or 9 minutes. And that just kind of broke, that'll just break your defense. And I think that, one of the things that, I'm going to try to pull this up here. Let me see. Yeah. So, you just take a look at some of the stats here, and you can see how Cowie just couldn't get going. It was just really, at one point, it was difficult because their offense really, by beneficiary of what was it? I think it was the penalty on the punt that gave Florida High the ball back, and a little bit of trickeration. Then that's how they scored and pulled within a touchdown. So it was definitely where the opportunities were there, but just give credit what credit is due. Gaston County defense found a way to get it done. Just limiting, really, it was Tegan Hackett and nobody else. And I feel like Tegan had a good game, definitely on special teams, but just wasn't enough against Gaston County, and they really showed why. I was looking for that interception, in the fourth quarter to kind of take away. Florida High had a man wide open, and I forget the kid's name, but he just snatched it out of thin air. It was one of the more incredible plays I've seen this year.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and keep it running down. Let me see. Gobby Cougars all over Wakulla War Eagles. You don't have to laugh. Don't laugh.
I was waiting on this.
There he is.
It's kind of fun. It's at the top of the list, right?
Cougars are district champs, and this was one where I know Coach Holston is happy with the way his team really bounced back from that earlier loss against Rickards. Ran the table in the district so far. I think they've got is it a 14 district? I think, or is it 3?
4. Yeah, it's 4.
It's 4. Yep. They got one more left to go, but if I'm not mistaken,
they're the district
they're clean. Yeah, they got all 3 in. They're good.
Okay, ran the table, and this was
he knew that. He knew it. He just wanted to hear.
I thought this one would have been closer than it. I thought this one would have been closer, but Gobby really defensively, that was an excellent showing by them. They're kicking in right now, but we'll pull it up.
We don't need to see any stats.
This ain't for you. This for the people.
Oh, okay.
But Gobby, definitely. I think this is one of the more surprising turnarounds in the city, given the previous years just kind of being where they were at. I think Coach Holston has done a great job, breathing some life back into the Cougar football program. And then looking at their schedule, Gobby's got a pretty favorable schedule going on down the stretch. They got Fort Walton Beach and then Dothan to close out the year. So this barn is that everybody stays healthy. This is a team that could make some noise potentially in the playoffs. The classification they're in, I think Gobby's ranked number 9 in the state right now. So still some work left to do, but they look pretty good at making a run, given their region pretty wide open. So, and I'll pull that up later, but yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into
second in the region, Mark, to your point. Yeah, 9th in 3A, but second in the region. Them and Rains are kind of the top dogs, and then there's a kind of big drop-off, but they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing Rains play Madison this past week, and that one obviously postponed. I don't think they're going to they're not going to make that one up, and I don't blame Coach Pierce. Definitely want to keep his squad healthy going in to round out the season. But I got I'm going to pull the rankings up as we go through some of these. But man, the surprise of the night again was probably John Paul and McClay. McClay just kind of fell apart in the second half, and then John Paul, really turned up the heat late in the fourth, nabbed 2 scores I think they were up by 3 and then went ahead by another score late in the game to kind of put the ice on it. But McClay just got caught flat-footed, and I think coming out of the second half, it looked like they were in great position to take this game. And John Paul just, man, they're very advantageous of all the McClay miscues and just took advantage and took that one by 10. So, really a tale of 2 halves for the Marauders. But, John Paul really put themselves in that to me, that was one of those season-saving wins.
It didn't save to see it was the season beating a team that I thought was clearly going to run away with this region. And McClay just seemed that they started off. They had I think it was 30-19 at halftime. At one time it was 30-19, and McClay didn't score again, and it was kind of a surprise that John Paul put up 40 points. on a team that's been pretty consistent on defense and offense. I was very surprised at the outcome. Hey, but it's a tough guys that got the guys over there were both young men that I had opportunity to have some part of coaching both of them, the defense coordinator and the head coach Hughes. So they did a good job. What else can you say?
Yeah, they got it going on. I mean, it's upset on paper, but you look at what they're doing and who they're playing against and how they're going. I think you saw it in game one. They kind of lost themselves a little bit, or, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, right? But the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks and change, they've been coming on really strong. They gave Wakulla all they could handle at home. And if not for the injury to G5 in that game, which happened, I think, first series on offense, but then they give McClay all they could handle, take down them, and then now they've lashed up the district. They rolled NFC here early in the week. Gang, I think this is a team that's figuring it out. And if we're talking, I know we talked about saving your money, Mark, maybe you put some money instead of FSU, throw it on down to JP2 because they're at a buy low right now. I think they're trending up. I love them going into the playoffs. They're going to be fun to watch. District champs down at JP2.
Yeah, when you look at this rest of the remaining schedule for them, they've got a tough one against Rickards coming up, but then they have FAMU DRS, and then that gets sandwiched with Pensacola Catholic. So, to me, it was impressive to see G back out there to close out the game. He played quite a bit, even though he didn't start. But looking at it, the way the schedule shakes out, you want to keep everybody healthy, and that schedule is still kind of tough. Looking at Rickards, that's going to be a really tough game. And then closing out against Pensacola Catholic, which I think Catholic is either 1 or number 2 in the region right now. So
that's a tough game.
Yeah, you just want to make sure they stay healthy. And some teams, they don't have all the numbers, but I think John Paul is definitely one of those. If they can stay healthy, they will definitely, given the way their classification looks, it looks pretty favorable for them. All right, keeping it rolling. We got Bozeman was a big winner over Port St. Joe, 21-18. And looking at this, this was, let me see. This was, I don't know that it was impressive stat-wise, but I was looking for the box score. It really was a furious comeback by Port St. Joe. And from what I was told, it was lots of, fireworks at the end of the game, just with Bozeman on their heels. But I'm not sure when Bozeman scored, but that was a decisive one that kind of iced the game. So
that's one of the games I watched, Mark. I thought that Bozeman was going to run away with it. And then Port St. Joe came back, took the lead. And then they came back. And then the next thing I know, I flipped over to another game. I turned back, and Bozeman was up 21-18. I'm like, what? Because usually when you got a lead and you fall behind, it's hard to come back from that. But they played tough, took it down, and put it away in the second half. I mean, the fourth quarter, really.
Yeah. And you can see the box score here. You can see where obviously Bozeman jumped out to that big lead. And then you can see the furious comeback by Port St. Joe, putting up 15 in the fourth frame. But, great win for Bozeman, for the Bucks. They still got, quite a bit of work to do with 3 and 4, but they got a game against Rutherford, and this is going to be a very close game, in my opinion. Then they have North Bay Haven, and they close out against Bay, which will be another tough matchup for them. But Bozeman got a lot to prove in front of them, where if they can, kind of keep it going, there'll be a lot of noise that they can make going on down the stretch. Let's jump back to the schedule. NFC, man, all over FAMU High, 45-14. Eagles pick up their second win on the year. DRS still looking for win number 1, and they may have an opportunity later on in the season. Sneads falls to Jefferson County 21-13, and the Tigers, man, this team here is worth talking about. Season 1. Kavir will be 7-0. And this is one where, I look at it for what it is, man. Shout out to Coach Powell. He's done an incredible job turning this program around, and they're one of the contenders now.
Man, that is tough to come into a program that has struggled for the past few years, and then all of a sudden come out this year and easily could have been undefeated. But they got a coaching staff. They got a nice coaching staff over there with the
Yeah, they got a
former
big
head
guy.
coach, at Taylor County, and it's and Coach Powell is a person to coach with Coach Tanner Jones of Port St. Joe and Taylor. I mean, they
Yeah,
got some. I mean, they're not hurting at coaching in the coaching area. So sometimes that makes a difference. You got quality coaches, kids. There's never been a problem with athletics, football players in Jefferson County. It's always just couldn't get out their own way, playing and making a lot of turnovers and not quite getting over the hump. And I think they got it on the they got it going now with the group they got now.
Yeah, and they're a great rural team, right? So when they get it going on and the people show up, and that is a really fun atmosphere on a Friday night when they have it going on, guys. And so
love
it's
it.
really tough to go in there and play when they're getting after it. And there's our guy Malik Johnson, who we can't say enough about. Of course, diamond in the rough. You want it by the ground or you want it in the air, Mark? He'll do it all the ways for you.
That's a dangerous that's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, he's one of those kids where you can't put enough you can't you he's got that natural ability where you can't scheme for him. Looking at how he plays, and I think his highlights were up here somewhere. Wait for the commercial to finish, but
Oh, we
yeah, you
doing
can see
Oh, no
there,
free ads, Mark. No free advertising. Get that out of there.
right. um, that might be it. There we go. And you can see where just watching how he moves, pulls it, tucks it, takes off.
a lot of space there,
Gets
man.
nice pickups, still on his feet. Yeah, he's one of those where it's very hard to scheme for somebody like that. And that um take that down real quick.
Man, we doing
Dan,
too
but
much.
but yeah, that's one of those where you can see why Jefferson's in the position they're in. Like, when you got a kid like that that can, kind of find little creases and make room with what he has, like that's going to get you an extra 10 to 12 yards of play. You can see why he's picking up yards the way you can see why the offense is able to move and pick up yards the way they do. Um, and then defensively, the Tigers are getting it done as well. So this looks like one of the teams to really focus in on going down the stretch. This is a game. I'm going to jump down now. Let's go ahead and talk about Cottondale and Liberty County. This one was 109 points between the two.
That's the biggest surprise of the night. I thought it was a mistake when I saw the score and scoring 50 points apiece. And you score 50 points and lose a game. That happened to me one time when I was coaching. We scored 50
I was at
plus points.
that game.
We scored 50 plus points, and I think we scored almost 60 and lost. But
Points on
we lost
turnover.
we were about to score to take the lead, and I think one of our players fumbles walking into the end zone. So I can imagine the coach going out there wondering what the heck I got to do. I scored 50 points. You're supposed to win. You're not supposed to lose when you score 50 points. Hey, but
Right.
the one with the most points win the game.
Yeah, no doubt. And how about the fight, right? Liberty, of course, still looking for that first win, but the fact that they can throw down and they look good too on offense. Watching the film, I mean, granted, it was like a Madden game. All the touchdowns were like 60 yards for every team. It was insane. But how about the fight? You come in 0-6, 0-7. You give an undefeated team, which I think everybody expected to roll them, but they put up an absolute battle. And so, something taken forward. Here you go, a little screen pass. This looks like a touchdown.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you
Oh, okay.
speed that film up? Man, he was moving. Oh man, look at that.
But yeah, I definitely I think that one of the things Liberty did very well was they had great scheme going against Franklin, and I think that one of the things that it looks like defensively they just couldn't kind of hang throughout the whole game. But this is a great effort by the Dogs. But we all know why Cottondale is what they are right now, and that's one of those things where it's just like it is so hard to contain Garrett. It is so hard to contain Odoms, and that's one of the reasons why they're still undefeated. But you can see Liberty looked really good in this ball game.
Man, that's probably one of the best games they played all year. Anyway, God, man, I'm enjoying the highlights.
Look at these wide receivers too. I mean, how often do you see a 0-7 team like the wide receivers out there on every play? The screen passes, the stretch runs at the outside, they're laying the lumber down. Like the effort's there, the buy-in's there, which is awesome for a team that's trying to get that first win.
Man, look at that.
The biggest things is that they know who their playmakers are, and I think they gave Cottondale everything they can handle. Even though the Hornets, when you look at it, definitely have the keys, especially on offense, to win. Defense has always been kind of, I think they started out great. I think they had 3 shutouts to start the year through the first 5 games, and then, of course, the schedule change. You start playing different opponents. And, I think teams, as they start to scheme for, Cottondale, have found chinks in the armor and started to exploit some things. But really, the whole offense is Odoms and it's Garrett. And then, of course, you have the receiver duo. But you can see it was really close in terms of total yards. And then some of the stat lines definitely were there. But
wow. Man.
Yeah, it seems like it was most of the game, and then they kind of pulled away late, and then Liberty kind of jumped back in. But to your point, big plays, getting after it, all 3 phases.
Now, Liberty picks up Jefferson County moving into the following week, so that'll be another good game, and we'll see what the Dogs can do. That's going to be a really good matchup. Moving on around the area, Lincoln, a big winner over Childs, 33-3. Trojans claim another district championship. They got a big one coming up against Niceville this week. We'll get into that in a minute. But, man, Trojans, really took advantage of, just being back in Cox Stadium. And really took it to the Timberwolves on Thursday night. And Trojan defense doing what they do best, which is hold teams to under 7 points.
Man, I feel bad. Looking at the Child score, I mean, look like they played tough, and that's the worst game of the past month for them. They've been playing everybody real tough. Couldn't get any points, couldn't get things going, And I think, like I said earlier, losing is contagious. You keep losing, you lose close, and then the next game you might get blown out. And this game ended up being that. And I think both of the teams, came into the game. Lincoln had just gotten beat the week before, and they wanted to make a statement, and they did. And Childs is a rival. Lincoln always wants to beat Childs. Childs wants to beat Lincoln, so they turned out pretty good. Lincoln did. Childs just didn't have it that night.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. I love you point that out, Coach. I think Charles was a victim of the schedule. Lincoln, obviously the high profile of Gadsden, they came in furious. I think they were really mad coming out of that Gadsden game. And Charles, it's like the younger brother, right? You get in a fight at the school bus, you get home, younger brother's there, and then he just gets it, right? It's just kind of the transition of anger right there. And Charles just seemed to be on the getting into that. 6 sacks, Chancey Jordan in the defense, to your point, Mark, going wild last weekend.
Well, that's Lincoln is district champs, and I think that they're the district champs. I think I got something letting me know they won the district. I think it's them and Charles, and I can't think of the other people in the district. Leon. So
yeah, just 3.
Just 3 teams, man. Lincoln better get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rutherford Downs, North Bay Haven, picking up the second win on the year, 53-0. So shout out to Coach Floyd. They got the job done in a big way. And then Mariana took care of business against Leon. Amari Clemens had another 100-yard plus game. Leon, man, I don't think they saw this one coming. This is looks real questionable for the Lions going down the stretch. They got some tough games still ahead, and then there's a chance they may be able to pick up a win at the end of the season. But man, it's still going to be tough sledding for the Leon as they are winless 0-7 on the year. Then another game we got to talk about, Franklin County edging out Wewa Hitchcock 21-14. And, Franklin, I think this was a great bounce back win for them. Coming off of the Cottondale loss, took care of business against a very tough Wewa team, and I think they got it done on the road. Looking at the stats, definitely, star running back by committee. I think they had 6 guys touch the ball for a total of 194 yards on the ground. Just found a way to get it done between Millender and Tamarian Carr, who also had a couple. I think he had a pair of touchdowns. No, excuse me, that was Eric Smith and Michael Hill, who did the scoring for the Seahawks. But being able to get that bounce back win in against Wewa kept everything in front of Franklin County going into the playoffs, because looking at the remaining schedule, I think they still got another. So they got Port St. Joe, Lafayette, and Osceola Christian showdown against the Warriors to end the season. So, no, definitely not. But things definitely look good as far as their playoff chances right now. I think they were still trailing in the points department, but each win you pick up going into the latter parts of the season can only help you, not hurt you.
Well, Mark, you have to give congratulations to Franklin. 6 is the most wins they had in its season since in their existence. And if they win one more, it'd be the best season they ever had in school history. So, shout out.
Right.
Hey, Coach Cooper, you did a good job. You're doing a good job. You turning this program, turning it around. They're doing good, and they're going and expecting to win. And that's the biggest difference in everything, I think.
Yep. How can you not like what you see? And of course, like you said, Mark's schedule is going to get tougher, and so they're meeting the challenge head on. So this will condition them either playoffs, and obviously as you continue to build the program, like you said, Coach, chance at history here in the short term. But I think from the interactions here with Coach Cooper that we've seen here with the Four Quarters family, that bigger things ahead, and I think he's trying to change the game down there in Eastport on the beach.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Cooper, he's one of the coaches in the area I think, has probably the biggest upswing given their community. It's been dormant for quite a long time, but we all know that there are athletes down there on the coast. With the way things are headed, I think they definitely are looking like one of the more attractive programs in the area. They've got the middle school team to go in, the JV squad going. So, look out for big things for this program. Rounding out scoreboard, or at least the first part of it, Holmes County, big winner over Vernon, 44-6. South Walton takes care of Freeport, blanking the Bulldogs, 48-0, with the Seahawks picking up the second win on the year. And then Arnold taking care of business against Fort Walton Beach, 14-3. Looking at the remaining schedule, man, look at Bay, district champions. Taking care of West Florida, 35-13. It was one of those where Tornado started off kind of slow to start the year, but you took care of the people they had to take care of, and they've got a guaranteed shot at the playoffs now with a big win over West Florida. Osceola took care of business against LPCA, 27-12, to stay undefeated on the year. So, yeah, Coach Roberts, looking at trying to take his squad potentially 10-0, but they got a showdown against Franklin County to end the year. So that's definitely one I'm gonna have my eyes on.
That should be exciting, Mark.
Let's move around. Mosley, we got to talk about this one. Mosley and Niceville. This one was fun to watch. Kind of keep an eye on it while we were calling the Florida High game, but man, it was. If I'm not mistaken, Mosley trailed for a little bit. Quite a bit in the first half till they were finally getting within scoring distance. But, both defenses played pretty good until about the fourth quarter, where things kind of broke open a little bit. And Mosley was able to win going away 37-28 against Niceville to remain undefeated.
Man, that was a heck of a game. When it started off, it looked like Niceville was in control. And man, I watch all these games at the same time. I turn over to one and I turn back. Next thing I know, Mosley's in the lead, and then they just pulled away at the end. Mosley is one of the more impressive teams. I have to admit that somebody said it early in the season. We give them credit. They will be in the playoffs, and I don't think nothing's changed since that at the beginning of the season. Coach. And so, hey, it was a heck of a ball game. They fought to the end. Hey, you like what you see watching those guys play? Because I thought, at first I said, "Dang, I didn't think Niceville was going to be in the game like this." But Mosley with the strong running the game, they got you got it on the screen. Yeah, they can run the football, man. Their offensive line got to be one of the best in the state.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I watched the offensive line move. I mean, that was a thing of beauty. The kind of opportunities they were creating for Frida's, protecting the pocket, and of course, their running back, and they've got a pair of backs that really have come on strong here in the
Mhm.
season. I think they're uh, both kind of closing in on 1,000 yards each. Which, if you got backs that can do that, you're gonna be looking at being. I think Mosley's one of my Final Four teams right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it.
Oh, you didn't call it. Man, tell them, Jupe. You said that a long time ago.
Hey, coach, there's a lot of tickets on the train. So anybody that wants to come on board, I'll keep shoveling coal up front. But anybody wants to come on in, we got some popcorn and some hot chocolate ready for you.
Yeah, man, you saw something there. You ahead of your time, Cole. I mean, hey, you said this at the beginning of the season. I think this is game one. You said these guys you look for them to be in the regional finals. And look where they're at now. They're undefeated, one of the best teams in the area. Not just a good team, one of the best. And one thing if you watch a film, watching a game, you see the line moving bodies, moving people against their will. They just pushing them all over the place. It's
Yeah,
sometimes the
look at
running back
Skip
don't know
blocking
where to go.
downfield.
So what now?
Yeah, I was just
What's
saying, look at the guys blocking downfield.
man? I mean,
It was
these
excellent.
guys.
Guys
Look at that dude
really
got knocked the
blocking.
guy on the ground. I mean, hey, they do it up. They do it up.
Mhm.
Look at
Tight
this
ends are
line.
getting pancakes.
This offensive line is very impressive, and the backs is
Receivers
you
blocking
got
downfield.
great backs, but hey, you got to have blocking to run like that.
No doubt. They got on defense too. Bruins, I think they got 5 sacks on the game. They had Jackson. How about this? You see it a lot of times in small ball, right? But how about Jackson here in
Yeah,
5A?
look at
He's
some. Yeah,
rushing for 200, and then I think he led the game in tackles. He had 13 when he was doing his linebacker duties. I know he's a high-profile guy. I want to say Oklahoma commit. I'll have to check the notes, but
I
definitely
got
Power 5.
somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, like you're saying, Mark, regardless of who they put in there, Chisholm, whether Freitas is keeping it, and he's not even throwing, which is still crazy. He's only throwing 18 passes a game, which seemed like a lot here in this Niceville game. But they got it going on, man. Like you said, Coach, winning is contagious, and right now it's going around, and everybody's got some in that locker room.
Telling impressive running attack.
yeah. Yeah, the ground game between Jackson, Massey, and Chisholm is already impressive enough. But look at Jackson, 213 yards against Niceville. And then Freitas getting in on the action, also put up 99 yards. That's too much to deal with, especially at
Dang.
that level, especially with the offensive line blocking downfield the way that they did. That was a really impressive win for Mosley. Staying undefeated. These are the teams you got to beat, and the schedule looks favorable for the Dolphins. They have a date with Florida High on the road at the end of the year, but man, the Dolphins look like they got everything in front of them right now.
Yeah.
So moving on, Bluntstown took care of Dixie County 22-0. Makeup game, if I'm not mistaken, or I think they were able to plug in that opponent. of that game. So Bluntstown moves to 4-2 on the year, kind of keeping their playoff hopes within reach, taking care of the Bears, and a big shutout win for Bluntstown on the road. So that definitely shows signs of life. And I think they got one of their guys back who was injured, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least that's what I heard. So other games from around the area, we got Hamilton County taking care of Hilliard. Trojans get the second win on the year, 51-44. And then Lafayette gets a must win, in my opinion, over Branford. I think that was a district game, 40-7. They take that one. And then Taylor County picking up a big win on the road against Chiefland. And I think for the Bulldogs, this was exactly what the doctor ordered, as they are of course, they would have been 6-0, but given the Monday night game, they're 6-1 on the year, and we'll get to that in a minute. Taylor County definitely didn't do anything fancy. I think it was just more so of the defense that really played really well, from what I was told. Defense kind of stymied Chiefland, and game kind of felt more so out of reach for Chiefland than it did for Taylor County. But Bulldogs pick up a great win. And then let's keep it going so we can get to the schedule. I know we got to make picks in just a minute. Looking forward to that. Rickards, tough loss for the Raiders as they fall to Choctaw. Choctaw's running game is absolutely stellar. Green Indians take it over the Raiders 31-7. And then Swanee falls in a tough one against Baker County 27-17. And I'll do it for week number 8. So, there's still a lot of teams that got some work left to do, but looking at the rankings, there's a lot that can be dissected. There's a lot of teams I feel like that are, kind of misplaced in the shuffle, as it were.
And I wonder what happened to the Cougars. Oh, they won the district.
Yeah, did you forget, Coach?
I forgot that quick, Coach.
Number 2 in the region, though. The metrics are liking them.
Being 1 or 2 doesn't really matter till you get to the last part anyway. So you're gonna be home.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They get some home games.
Yeah. Now, we had some Monday night games. We had we had Florida High taking on. Which Florida High is in a brutal stretch right now. We were talking about there was some heated debates going on social media about whether or not there should be a universal bye week, and I think I'm in favor of that, given the fact that you can definitely squeeze in some Monday games, but when kids start getting hurt, it kind of ruins your playoff chances, especially this close to the end of the season.
Coach,
you want me to? Yeah,
it's a good coach moment. Yeah,
I think the hurricane kind of the hurricanes messed everything up. A lot of schools had to do this, not just 1 or 2. Most teams had to play an extra game, play on a Monday night, because they got to get all those games in before the playoffs. And you want to know your district champs. You want to have all that stuff. I really don't have a problem with it. I think, because we practice every day, and practice, trust me, is a lot harder sometimes than any game you play. And so these guys are, figuring out how to get it done. The state want this over with, so you got to fit those games in. Players get hurt every week, what hurts you the most is one of your key players. And I think with the game on last Monday with Taylor and Florida High, I was just shocked with the score 50-7. That does not seem like the team that's been playing all year long. So I'm sure they had some things that went on.
And injuries on both sides.
I'm sure you could call up coach and find out what's maybe it was a district game, correct? If I'm not, that was a district. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna think, because sometimes teams hold out some players in games that don't really count in a situation like that. But that game counted, so that's not the case. So I was very shocked at the score. The score is what surprised me. I'm not surprised Florida won. I'm just surprised that they put up 50 points on a team that's had a great defense all year long.
Yeah, I get the perspective, Coach, but I think it's more what is our governing body doing for our game here in the state? And to me, and I don't know how much you guys want me to go in on the system here, but just so reactionary. Like it's not a surprise. Hey, newsflash, Florida's going to get 1 to 2 major hurricanes every year.
Yeah.
You know what we don't need to plan for? Those hurricanes every single year. Like, come on. I mean, the state of Georgia has 2 bye weeks. Whether you want to go to a universal bye week or just having extra flexibility to extend the season and get something going, like this isn't. It's not a surprise. COVID was a surprise. Hurricanes in the state of Florida, gentlemen. I mean, I've only been down here for about a dozen years, but it's not a surprise. Okay? Whether you talk about any area of the state, and I don't want to make lighthearted of a natural disaster, obviously, but from a governing body, you expect more. You're paying dues and you're playing by their rules, and at a certain point, they have to be held accountable. So I appreciated people kind of voicing their opinions, and I don't know if it changed the result. That's not what I'm getting at, but it's more the 3 games in 8 days kind of situation. Like, by the way, these kids are supposed to be still developing as young men. And by the way, they got to go to class. It's not like college where they can do virtual class. You go on the road over to Taylor County. Yeah, it's 70, 80 miles out there, but you know where you better be? You better be in first period tomorrow, Tuesday, to rest up so you can play again the next Friday against Madison. So I'm disappointed with the state, and I understand I'm saying this now, but where has this been? And this is kind of a track record of the same old thing, reactionary governing body creating problematic systems here for its institutions. And yeah, I mean, the Democrat did an awesome article, gang. They talked about the Coach Braswell, Coach Hickman interaction. They're both like, hey, we had to do it. This is tough before the game started. And I thought they did really well highlighting that. But they have to do it. It's a district game. It's in their bylaws. You have to make these up, and you've got these other arrangements. And, these football teams, which both of these teams get really good attendance. So a lot of times you get these games and you have to play them because you need the money from the gate to get the football program to continue to go. So you're in a catch-22, and there's no help, there's no leadership, and there's no bailout from who's supposed to be giving you your incentives or giving you some direction or at least some assistance versus especially Taylor County the last 18 months. No love, no help.
Right. I feel like it's definitely a long overdue, just, kind of topic that just could be easily solved. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really more so of a issue, I feel, where the infrastructure kind of you got to travel, you got to put together a lot of moving pieces in a very short amount of time. And the argument could be made where, because I know I experienced this when I was in high school, missed a game, hurricane. We had to make it up. And then we were in a 3-way tie for the district. So we did it twice. So is it doable? Yeah. Is it necessary? No. And I think that, most coaches would agree they would just take the universal bye week. Or the 2 bye weeks like they do in Georgia, because it allows for more flexibility. And then the biggest component, which is the academic side, the school can now prepare and plan for those weeks. No different than, when spring break is going to be or any other break. That your kids are going to be off, or there's going to be a bye week here. How much easier are midterms and being able to take those critical tests that you need to take, or doing assessments or anything that's related to your academics, as opposed to, well, we got to squeeze this in between, Thursday night, if you're lucky, or Friday night. And, as a coach, I imagine that's just, you got to have so many moving parts, not just in logistics, but just trying to prep for a team that, is going to be your toughest district battle. I couldn't imagine that was easy for them. So it is what it is.
When would you, let me ask you this question. The hurricane, this is hurricane season, and you're in the state of Florida. Would you just put all the games at the end of the year, the open days at the end of the year? So then if you have to make a game up, put it, those last 2 weeks of the year?
In my opinion, don't reinvent the wheel. Take what Georgia's doing. It's a great model. You get your bye. You get your first bye where it's a movable bye, and then you get a universal bye at the end of the season. problem solved.
But you got hurricanes that used to come down this time of year, right around
Fact.
the district, right in this area, usually all the way up to
Mhm.
about Thanksgiving, and you always got a problem because we done had some bad hurricanes doing close to the holidays and everywhere. But at the end of the season, it would be, say for instance, I had won a district game. If I'm not playing a team that needs a district win, I don't have to play.
If you know you have a universal bye, your schedule's going to look different. You're not going to put those critical games at the end of the year, or at least
But
you're
you
going to
don't
try
know what's
not to.
critical. Who thought that Taylor County was going to be a critical game? Nobody, because they didn't have a successful season. Jefferson County last year, no, they didn't hardly. I don't think they won a game. But those two teams are very important now in the district play. So the only way I see it, where you don't worry about figuring out who is important, just say the last couple of weeks of the season, or have a week before the playoffs start that you don't have to play. That's, to me, that would solve the problem.
Yeah, that could definitely be a solution. I was going to ask you, if you knew you had a 4-team district, where would you put your opponents, knowing your schedule?
I
Try to
think
spread them
at
out,
the end
or
of the
just stack them?
season is good to me. I would still put them there, but I wouldn't start the playoffs as early as they do. I might push it back a week so that we can make that game up if I need to play that game, because it'll determine whether you make the play. It might determine whether you make the playoffs or not. So you know what you got to do at the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, you have no idea, but at the end, you can make a decision. Look, if I'm an 0-25, I can go ahead and just forfeit the game. Hey, we ain't got to play that game. Y'all go ahead. Bye bye. Y'all in playoffs.
Yeah, but I know, to your point, Mark, that's the part of the problem is the state regulates it. So it's in the bylaws. If you're in a 2-team district, you will play team week 10. If you are in a 3-team district, you will play them week 10, week 8. If you were in a 4-team district, you will play them week 10, week 8, week 6. So they mandate it. But then when you get canceled, that's where we get compacted. And so the rigidity of it is part of the problem. And I'm not blaming these coaches. I'm not blaming these teams. To me, it's the top dog. You're the organization. Figure it out. What are we doing here? And there's 2 weeks. You can squeeze in 2 more weeks before Christmas. Before you start talking Christmas stuff, you can get 2 more game weeks in without moving the schedule up. But if you do it like a week early that Georgia does, now you've got 3 extra weeks that you're working with. And to Coach's point, throw 2 of them at the end. Throw it, do whatever you got to do. You got time. And I like the buffer idea, like you're talking about, Coach.
Yeah, I think it's a fixable problem, and Brett Denmark has a great point. Could have replaced non-district games with the district games that had to be made up in some scenarios. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but it's one of those things where you can see how to solve the problem. This is not something that has to exist in its current state.
A lot of the problem is finances.
Oh,
if I played you last year at your place, you owe me a date back at my place for my gate. That's how the programs are funded, through money they receive from the gate and from concession.
Shout out to Curtis Ford. Yeah, we miss you having us, man. We miss you joining us. But yeah, there's definitely so much to look at across the landscape. But we got any more Monday games that had to get?
Can you take my screen if I present it?
Yeah.
Will that work here? All right. Let me try to share the screen. I got a little window going here. I'll just throw up. I got a little PowerPoint slide just for a little graphic.
There you go.
Can you see that okay?
Yep.
So then we talked Florida High, Taylor County, bottom one. And then also you had another district contest. This one in the 1A classification, JP2 over NFC. Big margin. And then Lafayette, like clockwork, gentlemen, for the 18th time in a row, they've beaten Branford 40-7. 0 close games on Monday in our area.
Wow.
Yeah. So look at John Paul, and just that fast, they're sitting on top, and that's just how fast things have turned. this season. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go ahead and jump into. We got to go ahead and talk
question
about.
mark. Doesn't that make JP2's district champ?
Yes, official.
Yeah.
Coach.
Regional.
Yeah.
Where they got, I think they do regions. I'm not sure in the 2A, but JP2 has beaten FAMU and FAMU NFC and McClay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, you said you had it right, Jupe. It was a span of 8 days. So
Yeah, they won a district in 4 days because they got some help from the other games. They beat NFC and McClay in 4 days, and they got a district championship. That's pretty sweet.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into week number 9 across the Big Bend, Panama City, and Panhandle areas. Man, we got another good one with Florida High taking on Madison Boot Hill.
Excuse me, Mark.
Yeah.
I know I'm in 3rd place. Just put the scores. You got it. You let us know where we at. I mean, hey, get it over with.
I was saving that for last, but sure. Go ahead.
No, don't save it for last. We need to know because I might need to think harder, on picking my picks. I want to get 100% this week.
There you go. Coach, just so you know, your boy Mark was on it last Friday. He had a rough Thursday, but he was on it last week. Total 19-4 for Mark. Let me try to bring it up.
It's mighty funny. All this stuff happened after I got sick.
Yeah, I was trying to help you. This is supposed to be last.
You could have gave me a chance to put it in.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a sip of the championship sweet tea.
So I don't know how clean this will be because this is just out of my spreadsheet here. So Mark, I don't know if you can crop this or what, but
I don't think I can.
Okay,
it's going up there
so the people can see. So here's our week 8. Mark, had a pretty muddy week. 82%. So this is the season overall. So we see that going forward. So this is where we stand for the season. We're all 70 plus, but Mark is chipping away, gang. A little too close for my comfort here. He's only 0.6 back of me right now. 88 big wins.
Jim, you got to go ahead and put the C on my name now.
It's mighty funny. I was in the lead, and all of a sudden, the past couple of weeks, I just fell out in the 3rd place. I went from 1st place to 3rd place. I think we need to go back and check all this. Recount.
See, Coach, you need to double the Coach Vegas wall. So you go from your I imagine you having like a 6 TV setup. I think you need 12 TVs, and then you can get every single game at the same time. You won't have to tune out for that Port St. Joe comeback. You can be seeing it the whole way, and then I think just the amount of information will make you unstoppable.
Hey, we talked about it.
I'm gonna catch up in the playoffs.
There you go. That'll be fun. Money games. We should do double points. You want to do double, triple points?
You're trying to figure a way to keep the lead. No, keep it the same.
Playoffs should be big points, right? So I'm with you, Coach. You catch up in the playoffs. Let's do double points for those playoff games.
We got to beat Mark, right?
Yeah, we can start teaming up.
Jupe, I can't take you to Vegas.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it.
It'd be broke.
Get out in front of it. Get out in front of it, Mark. Yep. That's why I do not participate. All for fun, for the kids.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into week number 9, you guys. We have Madison County taking on Florida High at Boo Hill. This is going to be a great game. I got to tell you, I'm rocking with the nose on this one, but I think this is going to be close, especially depending on who was hurt for Florida High. But given the way they played, I think Madison County definitely, at times they can look a little one-dimensional on offense, but that defense is still tough. So, but I give the edge to the Seminoles in this one.
Well, let me make a call first. Hold on. Okay, I got it. I'm going with Boo Hill, the Cowboys. Hey, man, goodness, they home. They rarely lose there.
Yeah, that is facts. That's facts.
Yeah, Madison's rested, and like you said,
wait a minute. I thought the game was in town. Maybe I'm confused on that.
I think it's in Madison. Wait.
No, it's at Florida High Field. Yeah, you're right, Coach.
Yeah, it's at Florida High. Yeah. Hey, I changed. Yeah, I'm going Florida High. The hometown, the home team. That's what I'm picking.
Standing on business. I'm
See,
keeping my
Mark
pick.
tried to trick us.
Yeah, I had that one backwards, but yeah, it is at Florida Highfield.
I got Florida
I was feeling Madison. I'm gonna stay with them. Either way, rested. They're ready to get after it. I think they were juiced up for a big game against Reigns, so they'll just roll it on down the line. Get down Florida High, but it's always a classic. These guys always have fun games. I love this series. But let me go Madison this time around.
Okay. All right, back at Frank Shaw Field, the McClay Marauders be hosting NFC in the battle for Meridian Road. Yeah, give me the Marauders. I think they're angry after last week's loss, and I think they're looking to take it out on one of their rivals against NFC.
Yeah, I'm with the Marauders this time.
Yeah, we're gonna go McClay, but I gotta shout out my guy Arias Burt. He went 100 plus rushing, 2 touchdowns, 100 plus receiving, 2 touchdowns last week. Just a sophomore for NFC, diamond in the rough, young star.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see him the rest of the way and in the future for the Big Ben. He's going to be a fun player to watch, so got to give some love to him. But yeah, I'm going McClay.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Mosley taking on Arnold. Man, Arnold's looking good this year, but I gotta go with the Dolphins. Dolphins
I'm
get 2 right now.
Not even a discussion. I'm going Mosley.
I thought about it here.
I know you kind of do. You kind of think about it.
Long and hard about it, because this isn't a district game either. So this has all the makings of a trap game, but Mosley's at home. I think Mosley squeaks by, but I think Arnold will be up for it, and I think they'll get more of a tough test than most people think. But yeah, I got to go Mosley.
Yeah, you got to do it. Holmes County taking on Marianna, and this one, I thought it had trap written over it, but I'm going with the Bulldogs. I still think that Holmes County definitely has a good enough defense to stand up to quite a few teams, but I haven't seen anybody run with Marianna yet, except for Walton. And I think the Bulldogs are definitely a little bit more seasoned than they were in week number 1. I definitely trust their defense, so I'm going with Bulldogs on this one. Give me Marianna.
I love the Marianna Bulldogs, and I'm gonna stick with them this week. I know it should be a tough game though. It's not gonna be easy for them. Marianna Bulldogs.
Yeah, let's go clean sweep. Excuse me. My goodness. Can't talk anymore. I've been yelling at the organization so much. Also, Marianna, I don't know if we talked about it. Also, district champs. They got some help
Congrats.
last week to lock it up, but Marianna book it for the postseason. The numbers are like in Marianna as well, gang. So they should get a pretty good seed.
All right, let's go Liberty County, Liberty County, Jefferson County, excuse me.
I was wondering what those tiger paws are for.
Liberty County versus Jefferson County. This one is going to be interesting because we saw Liberty really come alive last week, and man, Jefferson County is still rolling at 6-1. Ignore the records, y'all. Ignore the records. This was hard because Liberty's at home, and give me the Bulldogs. Give me the Bulldogs. Like what I saw last week.
Wow.
I'm stepping out on the limb. I say Bulldog Marion. Excuse me, not Marion, but I think Liberty County gets win number 1.
Wow. Mark, I can't go with you on that one. I'm Jeff Cole, baby. Jeff Cole.
Man, that's a good point.
I think you need to go with Mark.
I kind of want to, but
it should be a good one.
Something in the mix. I like Liberty County.
And Jefferson's playing great ball right now.
They both are. So Liberty's on the way up. You don't see it in the win column, but they're like kind of Rutherford maybe a couple weeks ago. They have that feeling knocking on the door.
I think Liberty, every team they've played has had a winning record.
Yeah, they've got a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up because Liberty is rural, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Liberty. Where are they? I think from what I was looking at, they were surprisingly high in the rankings compared to where you would think they would be.
Maybe it's a quality competition.
Okay, so they're currently, so I think that is it. But their strength of schedule is, at least per these ranks, their strength of schedule is one of the top. They're like top 10 rural for strength of schedule, if not higher than that. I think they're actually top 8. I'll have to run the numbers here. I'm trying to do this on the fly, but all that to be said, like they've got one of the hardest schedules in their classification. Similar to, I'm trying to think of somebody else. Baker. Baker's got a 6-2. They've played a really tough road here. Or no, sorry, not Baker. They've got a similar strength of schedule to Union County, who's sitting at first overall right now. So the Metro are kind of playing that out to your point, Mark. Brutal schedule. But they've been playing well the last couple of weeks. And you look at the film, like you saw the big plays. They definitely got some explosiveness on offense. I'm going to have to stay with Jeffco, though. I thought about it really really hard. I'm hopping on the bandwagon, Coach. Let's try to get one, right? Tag teaming up on Mark.
Oh, okay.
Hey, bring it.
I'm not helping myself because you're up there with Mark. I'm not helping myself. I need both of you guys to have bad weeks.
Hey, don't worry about it. The next pick is going to be just as hard. Point St. Joe hosting Franklin County.
Man, right around the corner.
Yeah, Point St. Joe, in battle this year, I definitely think the pieces are there, and I like them at home. They put up a furious comeback last week, and I think they have the pieces there, but I got to go Franklin County. They've been too consistent. They're a bend, not break kind of team, and I think that they're definitely looking like one of the better playoff contenders in the rural, but I'm going to have to go Seahawks on this one.
Mark, I'm going to have to go on the opposite. It's tough to play in Port St. Joe. I know from personal experience, it is not an easy place to play a game, and I'm going with the Sharks.
Yeah, big game here for Franklin County. Like you said, the 6-1 record, but the numbers do not like the Seahawks. So this is a big one. If the playoffs started today, they'd be the 14 seed at 6-1, and they'd have to travel to Madison. So I think the implications, they know it's a big game. I don't expect a letdown. So give me Franklin.
Who did you pick?
Franklin. Seahawks.
Oh, man.
Got the door open for you, Coach.
I need your guys to mess on a couple more.
Yeah, rural looks pretty crazy. Union County is number 1 in the rural, and then I think Franklin's like 14.
Yeah, Franklin's 14. Yeah,
15 back. Yeah, Osceola Christian is ranked number 8.
Yeah, undefeated.
So undefeated. So man, these games are going to be really important going down the stretch. So, I still got to go Seahawks on this one, but But yeah, that game is going to be just as crucial as the next if they want to kind of change their playoff positioning a little bit. FAMU High taking on Weaver. Baby Rattlers at home, I think, for the second time this year. So I know that the FAMU High faithful will definitely be enjoying the home game atmosphere while University's on the road. But taking on Weewa's a very scrappy team, picked up their first win not too long ago. Man, I would love to try and throw something here to the FAMU High Baby Rattlers, but I got to go with the Weewa Gators on this one. I think it'll be closer than expected, but I think Weewa is going to take this one.
Man, I'm going to have to go with you this time, Mark. I'll go with Weewa. Sadly say.
He's rolling with them. Yeah, Weewa's been playing really tough. They gave, Jefferson all they could handle a couple early in the season.
Yeah.
And just last week, they gave basically everybody they've been playing them really tough. On the good side, though, of course, our big running back from FAMU DRS is healthy, did play against NFC, and is getting after it last week. So good to see on that standpoint. So I just had to get his name, make sure I got it right. Cameron McMillan.
I got something to say about it again. I didn't interject it earlier.
Yeah.
At one time, FAMU led that game against North Florida. So they got hope. You have hope.
Okay.
You have some hope.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Vernon, Cottondale. I definitely got to go Cottondale on this one. Definitely been still the most consistently, even though last week was definitely a surprise with against Liberty, but had if the defense steps up and play the way they're supposed to, I can see them winning this one big against Vernon, who is 1-6 on the year. So yeah, give me Cottondale.
No doubt, undefeated Cottondale.
Yeah, get it going. I'm with Cottondale too. Going 8-0. Battle of the Bees here, gentlemen. This is a fun one.
Yep. Call this the Insect Bowl. All right. Man, this one really, man, I spent a long time on this one. Bozeman, Rutherford. Bucks are hosting. This is going to be a really good game. I think both teams kind of match up well. I know the Rutherford, you can kind of ignore the record. They've been very close in quite a few ball games within a score for 3 of their matches starting the year. Had that triple overtime loss against Blountstown. And then, of course, they pick up 2 big wins against Port St. Joe and North Bay Haven in consecutive weeks. Bozeman playing really good football. They've come on of late as well. I don't know. This one's been tough. I think I'm gonna have to go with Rutherford. I'm going with Rutherford. Keep the streak alive.
I knew you were gonna do that.
I thought we had him, Coach.
I mean, I knew he was going with Bozeman, but
I was thinking about Bozeman, but I think Rutherford is really putting together something. I think it depends. I like the way Rutherford's secondary plays. Their defensive side has played kind of better than expected. It's kind of kept them in some ball games, even though they haven't come out on the. It's the Rutherford offense, I think, that has been more embattled. So, but I think this one will be within a score. I think this game is going to be really close.
The game. Where's the game being played? It doesn't really matter. It's Panama City. Right? It's at Bozeman.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go opposite you just so I can have a chance to catch up.
Coach is going with the Bucks. Yeah, Rutherford is like JP2 West. I'm feeling Rutherford right now. Stock is up. Dual threat quarterback Reed is fun. They also got some good balance in the running game with Scott starting to pick it up and getting things churning. Like Mark said, this is going to be a good ball game. Good Friday night feature, but I'm going to go with the Rams this weekend.
All right, Walton taking on Bay. Braves at home. Bay, don't look now, but they're 3-4 in district champs. Got a talented squad, but man, it's going to be hard for me to go against Mr. Bettenhausen and company. They had a tough loss at Catholic last week, who's #1 ranked in that region. But yeah, I definitely think the Braves, they look like the better passing team, definitely. But I'm going to go Walton at home.
Well, last week I watched the Catholic Walton game, and I didn't realize Catholic was that strong. They really dominated on the line of scrimmage against Walton. Bettenhausen didn't have too much time to sit back and throw the football. These guys, and one of the things about these two guys, Coach Brown used to work at Walton as the offensive coordinator. So they kind of know each other. I think they probably some of the similar things. He knows some of the weakness and the strength of this team. But I'm gonna go with Bay. I'm gonna just go with Bay. I gotta have a chance. I can't catch up picking the same teams you guys pick.
There you go, Coach. Go get him. I'm gonna have to go Walton. You think about the arms here.
I'm gonna be further back, huh?
because Morgan, I know, went down with an injury. I mean, shout out to JDV. He stepped up in a big way. John DeVos for Bay to come into the backup role. He slung it. They ended up picking up the district championship. But I think with a week to prepare here, I think Morgan's a really special player for Bay. So I'm going to have to lean towards the arm who's still rocking and rolling and with Walton. So I'm going to go with your boy Bittenhausen, Mark. I'm also going to join you over with the Braves on Friday.
Yeah, you got to make a sign for some of your panhandle teams.
No, I got them, but I got them out of alphabetical order, and so that's the problem. There's Walton, shout out.
There you go.
Some love here. There's Weewa from earlier. I missed him, but yeah, I'm all over the mix. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking through my stickers. There's nothing fancy going on here.
All right, we got a big one going on. I think is this Thursday night? Thursday home. Let me check.
I think originally it was, but I think they switched it back to Friday just with the schedule.
Oh, it's back to Friday? Okay. All right. So Rickards taking on John Paul, and man, this is we talked about, the Panthers, having a tough schedule closing out the year. But man, the Raiders, man, they've been a little Jekyll and Hyde as of late, but the ground game is still there. And defensively, they just picked up I think it was Wiggins picked up his All-American honors. He's going to be playing in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, so shout out to him. And I'm not sure, but I don't know. I just feel like, man, the Raiders' ground game is still very much, prevalent. They're still definitely physical on the line. I know Choctaw gave them all they could handle last week, kind of got banged up a little bit, but I like Rickards in this one, man. Give me the Raiders by 7.
Oh, man. You know where I'm going, Mark. I'm going, I can't pick it against the Raiders. Rickards, man. You did that on purpose. I think you wanted to go with John Paul, but you knew what the situation was.
Yeah, I don't know. So Rickards been up and down, Mark, but I don't know if it's Jekyll and Hyde. I think it's the schedule. I mean, show me a team who can play Mosley, Colquitt, and Choctaw and come out with a bunch of big victories. That's a tough schedule right there.
Oh yeah.
But this is a toss-up, and I'm going with the contrarian. Risky business. I got to stand on it. Give me Christian Williams, G5, Ethan Braun, and, of course, the rest of the squad. I'm going JP2, a little upset special. This is one of my couple of the week.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, what's crazy is that Rickards, they've let quite a few teams back in the game late. So we'll have to see because John Paul really, I think they put together quite a few comeback efforts that have just fallen short. So this could be, it could have the makings of one of those upsets again. You never know. So, but Raiders up front look still pretty good. Keeping it moving, Wakulla taking on South Walton. I think the War Eagles get back in a big way. South Walton, one of their 7 or 8 road games this year due to their stadium being under construction. So this is another one. They'll be in white again. I like the War Eagles at home.
No question. I'm with the War Eagles. Wakulla. Great team. Need to make a comeback this week.
There you go. I'm with Kelly here. Wakulla Young, excited to see their development. But, Mark, you have us tasked with the burden at hand. So I'm going upset special with South Walton here.
Man.
Another one. J.D. Brown went absolutely bananas last week. And that kept me up at night is I picked against South Walton and then made me pay for it. So maybe I just got to eat this one. Maybe it's pride. But I'm feeling the Seahawks right now.
Wow.
South Walton took care of business against Arnold in a very surprising game too. So I mean, they're capable of getting it done, and Wakulla has shown themselves they got a lot of growing up to do in some areas. But I don't know, something about the magic of J.D. Jones Stadium. I just see them being able to turn it around. I know they had the loss against Godby, but I think they'll be back in action.
He had to find a way to mention that again, right?
We ain't even made it to my school yet. We're down on the list.
You put it at the last, put it at the end?
No, they're not the last one. We got a bunch of games this week.
Okay.
Suwannee, Taylor County, and this one, this was a classic one. Anytime is, I don't know, they got to come up with a name for this game. This is an old rivalry between these two. Taylor County will be the visitor here. Suwannee, throw out the records. I definitely think that Suwannee, man, they got so much to prove. They've been close. They came close against Baker County last week. I don't know. It's going to be hard for me to go against a Taylor County team. It might be a little bit banged up. I know that Taylor County's just, they had a couple of injuries in the last game, but I think this team's just been a little bit more consistent. Give me Taylor County in this one.
Well, I'm going the opposite here. I'm going with the Suwannee Bulldogs.
Ooh.
Hey, it's the only way I can catch. The only way I can catch up. I can't just keep picking the same thing you pick.
That's fair. I know you're talking about catching up, Coach. I've always been more of a barbecue sauce man myself, so I'm going to have to go with the other side. Give me Taylor County. I'm with Will McLeod. Or McLeod, probably. Sorry, Will.
Come on, Colin.
Taylor County. I think Taylor is very similar to Baker. And so I think Baker got the best of Suwannee last week. So I think Taylor's got the blueprint.
Come on, Kyler.
You're looking for a bounce back.
Come on, Kyler. Help me catch up.
But they're playing at Langford, right? Langford Stadium.
Yeah.
Man, okay. I love that facility. That's a fun facility there.
It used to be one of the hardest places in the state to play.
It was for a long time. I played out there, and I'm telling you, the grass is I don't know how they cut it or what they put down there, but it's not. If you're a fast guy, it ain't for you. It's a little bit thicker.
It's natural.
That's
you just
Mark.
Mark, you thought that the grass was the same. It wasn't no different.
No.
It was that team in the green. That was the problem.
It's the water aqueduct, Mark. Natural springs, the way it seeps in there, kind of in more central Florida region. You got a lot of great springs down there. So special breed you don't find anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Juke, that was an excellent scientific point.
Oh, I just made that up. So who knows if it's true?
It might not even be true.
Yeah, I was just running with that bit that Coach is going on about. So yeah, probably not true, but science.
Hamilton County taking on Dixie County. Trojans hit the road. Man, Hamilton County's been kind of in battle this year. I think I might have to go Bears on this one because they'll be at home. But both teams with 2 wins on the year, somebody's going to get the win number 3. I think I'm going to have to go with the Bears, though.
Dixie. I don't have any comment about it.
Oh, man. Thursday night special. I'm feeling Hamilton. Let's switch it up this week.
Okay.
Good job.
I think they got me paid last week with that Hilliard game. Well, I'm not making any money for the record. But as far as in the standings, I feel like I'm coming off as like in a gambling addict this week. And so I just want to be
ladies and gentlemen, Four Quarters Online does not condone gambling. We do not promote gambling, especially among youth sports. Just put that out there.
Yes, thank you, Mark. And I follow suit with that. That is a big part of my engagement here. But yeah,
hey man, you got to keep the lights on somehow.
True.
All right, let's keep it going. Osceola, Bell. I ain't picking against the Warriors. At least not till we get to week number 11. Then I have to make a decision then. But I'm rocking out with the Warriors for at least the next couple of weeks.
Kobe. I'm going with Osceola this time. No problem.
There you go. I tried to get too creative, gang. Last week, I got to fall back into the old bread and butter. I'm going back with Osceola. Set up an interesting one last week of the season, though. But give me Osceola at least till the second to last week.
Dang, are y'all betting on that game at the end of the year with Franklin?
That'd be fun.
Man.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Run with it. Be bold. Don't be scared.
So, all right. So let's go ahead and keep it going. We got Freeport and Baker. I thought about this one because I think Baker is not quite, Baker what we remember. Freeport kind of hovering around 500. They have the home game. They showed sparks here and there. They got a great play out of their linebacker core.
Do it.
All right, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna take a chance. I think I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go Freeport. Go Freeport.
Oh man, I'm going Baker, baby. Open the door. Open the door, Mark. All right.
Coach loved that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the strength of Baker. I like the scoring, and pretty solid on defense too. I think they can do it just enough to jam up the run game, but I'm with Mark. Closer than you would think, but I'm still going Baker.
All right, Blountstown taking on Northview at home, back in the friendly confines at Blountstown. I think I'm going to go Tigers on this one. Blountstown has bounced back in a great way since that midseason loss to Taylor County. So I'll go ahead. And then, of course, I think they lost to WS Neal out of Alabama too. So they dropped 2 in the middle of the season, but they bounced back, picking up a big win over Dixie County on the road. Give me the Tigers in this one.
Blountstown, you know I was going to pick them. I like that team.
There you go. Yeah, I think they're on the upswing. I'm hoping they don't fall back into their rule of twos. So it's 2-0, 2-2, 4-2. So they've been kind of blocking off their schedule here: wins, losses, wins. So I'm hoping they go through for third straight. Northview's going to be tough. They gave Holmes County a real challenge, but give me the Tigers.
Oh, all three of us picked the same team. Oh
yeah.
Guess who's coming up now?
Oh yeah. You knew it was coming. All right, Cougars on the road at Fort Walton Beach. I'm going Gabi on this one. I think the Cougars have really put together what I think has been a formidable, explosive offensive attack. Give me Gabi in this
one. Oh, you finished? Oh, I thought you had some more things to say. I'm sorry. Man, I hate it, but I'm gonna have to go with the Cougars. I've seen both of these teams play, and just from the eye test, Gabi is a pretty good football team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great points, Mark. So that's not what I was laughing at. I love Coach's reaction. Anytime you start talking about Gabi, it's my favorite part of the week is whenever we record this and you guys go back and forth about the alma mater. It's really fun for me. G-High taking away this week.
Oh.
Not enough juice, I think, for Fort Walton.
Well, hey, Ju, just
yes,
remember, Rickards won this year out of the 2 schools.
Okay. That is true.
I just want to let you know that.
There, boys, Coach.
Hey,
it was extra points. That's all it was. It was just extra points.
That game, Coach. That game was awesome. Great game.
W's and L's. That's all that counts. I don't care if it's a half a point. That's all that matters. Okay.
Chipley Destin hooking up. Chipley hitting the road. Give me the Tigers in this one. I don't know. I didn't see a score for them last week. So
it might have been.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, that was one of the ones with the Jacksonville schools. So I think that was kind of canceled preemptively earlier in the week. So yeah, I do not think that game was played.
Yeah, give me the Tigers.
I got a question. Every game that any Tiger was involved in seemed like we picked them. I'm just throwing that out there, and I'm going with Chipley. Just think about it, because I heard Tiger quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, I feel like I had a Bulldogs theme going a couple weeks ago. So I'm with you, Coach. I like a good zoo type cast here for these picks. I'm going Chipley as well. Defense is just too strong. Have not lost playing on Fridays. So this game will be played on Friday. I'm with Chipley in that defense.
We together on that.
All right, Lafayette hosting Trenton. Give me the Hornets in this one. I think that I definitely think that Marcus Edwards pulls the 500 this year. Definitely like the way they've been playing so far. They got a lot of bright spots. Give me Lafayette.
Um, Lafayette. I don't see with the records like Trenton is not having the best of seasons. Lafayette is kind of 50-50 every week, so Lafayette.
Yeah, they got the old Branford boost. Of course, 18 straight, like we said. 22nd time in the last 24. So I'm feeling Lafayette. Higginbotham, keep it slinging, young man. I'll take Lafayette again. Let's go.
All right, rounding out the schedule for week number 9, we got Leon taking on Bradford, and I think the only thing that's helping the Lions out is that they get them at home. But man, the way the Tornadoes are playing, they were ranked in the state top 25 team. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Tornadoes on this one.
Tornadoes, no doubt about it.
This one is tough. I think it's similar to that Charles game last week. I think Bradford just lost. What was it, Nice, that they lost early in the week? And so I think Bradford is going to be angry coming into Tallahassee, and they're going to have the full attention here. So I don't think it's going to be a trap game or anything like that. I'm throwing that out the window. Bradford is big and bad. I'm taking the NATOs here as well, gang.
All right, let's keep it rolling. North Bay Haven taking on Pensacola Catholic. I don't think there's no doubt in my mind about this one. Give me the Crusaders. And I think this was is this a district game?
No.
I'm not sure.
No,
I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how this got how the Bucks drew this on the schedule.
I don't quite understand the record of Catholic, because the team I saw last Friday night was.
Yeah, I think I have that record wrong. I think I have that wrong.
I'm looking at Catholic.
They are 6-1.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that. I said, ain't no way in the world that team is 2-6. So, Catholic.
Yeah, that's my fault. But that's give me the Crusaders on this one.
And they are not district opponents, but they are next door neighbors. They are both 2A, coach. But Districts 1 is Catholic, and so Catholic's still trying to lock up the district. Like we said, I tried to tell you guys last week about that Catholic.
Man,
here we go. Man. Yeah, so I got Crusaders as well, gang.
Throw it up. Is it? They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. When I watched, what I saw, I watched the game. It was the last game playing in the whole state, I think, and they just manhandled Walton, and I was surprised that they could do. Walton couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
Oh man, this a hard one coming up.
Yeah, this one is. I thought about this one for a minute now, and Lincoln heading out to Niceville, one of the toughest places to play in the state. Man, Niceville's going to be angry coming off of that Mosley loss. Lincoln's, and this is the thing about Lincoln, this is a winnable game for them. I don't see where they don't match up well with Niceville. They definitely can get the job done on defense. I think it's just, can Sims get into a rhythm in a harsh environment? Can he find a way to keep that offense moving, picking up, or at least getting the Trojans in scoring position? Because Lincoln is a team that has shown, if they get going, they're hard to stop. And I do think that the weapons are there, especially looking at if the offensive line can really step up and have a great game. But, man, physicality is definitely going to be the name of this one, because we saw how Mosley, really just Mosley and Niceville just went at it in the first half. So I think Lincoln's got their job cut out for them this time. Trojans by 3.
Wow.
Man, here's why. I think Lincoln special teams is going to be the difference maker. I think Lincoln special team is going to be the difference maker.
Either way,
they've got guys. Guys that can return kicks. They got guys that can get. They got guys that can get into the end zone on punts and on kickoffs. They've shown that this year, and I think they've also got a great kicking game. They got a great punter who can flip the field. I think that's what keeps Lincoln in this game. Looking at how they played against Ware County in Georgia, that was a very slow, methodical game, but Lincoln kept flipping the field and kept getting great field position. That's how they were able to win. I think that's how they can get it done against Niceville.
You believe it?
Could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Let me tell you something. That is one heck of a place to play a football game. They got fans, they got large support. They come to the game. It's the only thing happening in town, and they intimidate you and the refs. Niceville.
Yeah, they do. And they're right on top of you too. Like it's like maybe 8 or 9 feet between you, the sidelines, and the bleachers.
The stadium is about. I played in high school. They started football, I think, in 1973, 70, something like that. They're almost as old as me. That stadium, and it is not an easy place to play. It is not. It has some great teams. Through the years, and they're not far from Mosley as a team, so it's going to be hard for Lincoln to go there and win. I'm going with Niceville.
Ooh, okay, so a little split here. Man, the way Mark sold it, Mark's got it going on with these picks the last couple of weeks.
I do my homework.
I know. I'm saying I respect it. He's painting the narrative, and I'm like, oh man, he's going Niceville.
Man, he on a sugar high this week because Gobby won. Man, no. But I want you to go with him anyway. I don't want you to do the same thing I'm doing. I can't catch him.
And I'm hopping on board, Coach, because I think Niceville's passing game isn't as explosive in years past. I think they're a little more one-dimensional. Lincoln won last year. Let's do it again. 2 in a row. I'm going.
Hey, that's a very good team I saw last week. So did you fix that, Mark?
That's and see, here's the thing that most people don't recognize. Niceville has 2 bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got I think the middle school band comes out, and then they have the high school, and then they battle against each other. So it really ain't no room for you or your fans.
Hey, you see that end zone down there in the corner?
Yeah.
I scored in that thing 4 times.
Ooh. Get it.
Yeah, that's band number 1 over here, and that's band number 2 right there. So, and then they got the student section. Yeah, it's intimidating. It's intimidating.
It looked like it's improved since the 1970s.
You know what's the most intimidating thing about Niceville? When you come out the locker room, you got to walk through all the fans.
Yep. I can't tell you.
You got to walk, and then this is the scariest part. You got to walk down the stairs in the cleats.
Yep.
So you're holding on to the rail. You're trying not to bump into your friend. You're trying not to bump into your teammates. It's intimidating.
Mark, let me tell you something. Walking down those steps, I got called everything but a child of God walking down. It was unbelievable. The fans, man, they serious. And when you win, man, you kind of get nervous walking back. They mad at looking at you, because they wasn't used to losing too much because they had the year before. They were pretty good. And then the year we played them, we started the season off with a loss for them. Didn't like playing them, be honest with you.
Nah, at all. Sneeze taking on LPCA.
Is that Sneeze?
Yeah, Sneeze. Sneeze taking on LPCA. On the road. Give me. Is it light? I think it's Lighthouse or Light Point. I'm not sure. Which is one of the two.
Lighthouse,
give me LPCA.
PCA, whatever.
Give me LPCA at home against visiting Sneeze.
You're going against Sneeze? Oh,
yeah.
Man. I got a good chance this week. I'm going with Sneeze.
I gotta go Sneeze. I gotta go Sneeze too.
The Wing T gonna ride, baby.
Yeah, the way it was close with that game they played all Scylla, but then the front 7 just was too mean, and I think Sneeze is bigger in the trenches. So I'm with Coach. I think offensively and defensively, it'll be trouble for LPCA.
Oh man!
Lighthouse Private Christian Academy for
Okay.
For those,
Yeah, there you go. Lighthouse.
It used to
Pride
be.
Christian Academy.
It used to be a school that everybody got for homecoming. Now they've gotten better at football.
they have good
Yeah,
on them.
they've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Rounding out the schedule, we got Vernon taking on Central. Give me the Jackets. Picking up win number 2 on the year.
Wow. I don't. Where's this game being played?
Out west.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Central just got a football team not too long ago because they used to be just basketball only.
What
were kinda
city?
like that.
What city is this? Because I
They're in
remember
Milton. They're in Milton.
Milton got two teams. Oh man, I'm
Uh,
going
Santa Rosa County has 4 teams now, 4 football teams, programs.
another bad, tough place to play. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Central.
Oh,
Hey,
Ooh.
Mark, I can't catch up. I gotta do something.
Yeah, take a sip of the championship sweet tea on that.
well,
That's a
Coach,
bold pick, Coach.
all the best in future endeavors. I got to go with number 10, even though it's number 9. Caden Hammock. He's a mean running back, middle linebacker,
Yeah.
leading the team in
Vernon's actually really fun to watch. I know that the record doesn't show it, but Vernon's a very fun to watch team. They got playmakers who, and most of their team goes both, or quite a few of their guys go both ways. They can move the ball. I think this will be a big win for them going up against winless Central. And Vernon, I think, could be a team that's on the uptick because they got a lot of young talent on that team. So, yeah, look out. We could be seeing Vernon as a team to beat, one of the teams to beat next year if they can kind of hold everybody together. So, and then we talked to them at Media Day. I think, the hopes were high, but they knew they were young. And I think it's just one of those things where, playing a tough schedule with plenty of surprises out there in the rural has been kind of, up and down. But, Vernon's kind of hung tough with some teams making it a game through a half or 3 quarters. Just think that, they may have just a little bit more growing up to do. So that'll
Mark,
round out week number 9.
one more thing, Mark.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of confused because that Central logo looked like the Gaston County.
That's their logo. I don't know. That's
Hey,
their logo.
I got caught up, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, while we're with Vernon, they took down Weewa in their own house. So shout out to
Yeah.
30-0 early in the year. They caught me by surprise. So like you said, Mark, they're legit. They've been hanging tough with teams, and I'm liking them here once again.
I'm
Yeah.
going to call up the Fish Association. Call penalties on
Don't
me
do-
down.
You're gonna have to go
Uh,
down there and ref the game yourself, Coach.
Hey,
You can't
can't-
trust anybody.
I can't. It's hard to ref a game with.
Okay,
no
here's the
team.
question.
What?
Given where you can only be the back judge.
He moved.
Pass interference every play. Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, man, it's been great breaking down week number 8 and 9, and especially our makeup games. Man, we still got a lot of football left to be played. Next week, we're going to be really doing a deep dive into the hopefully our first little playoff preview as we got more of the rankings that'll be shaking out here. And some teams looking for points, man. We got some great games on the slate. Looking forward to calling the McClay game with you guys on Friday. So it'll be a great weekend of football. Temperature's getting cooler, so we encourage everybody to get out to a local game this week. FAMU and Florida State back in action. So, man, it's going to be a big football weekend in the capital city. We encourage everybody to stay safe out there, and we will catch everybody next week on another edition of The Extra Point with 4 Quarters Online. My tag team partners, Coach Cofield, Andrew Jupe. We'll catch everybody next week on The Extra Point.
Awesome.